So we've talked about having a very clear vision, why that's important, and the elements of that. We've talked about your belief system, because there's no point having a vision you don't believe in, really, because like I said, you're not really going to be as driven to apply yourself to make it happen. Once you have all that in place, then it's important to organize for success. And I like to talk about what I call the 5 Fs, which get in the way of getting results. The first is the failure to plan, which really goes from the last quote we had, which is, vision without execution is like wishful thinking. And the fact that nothing is impossible if you divide it into small jobs. So yes, it's great to have a vision, but then we need to have a very solid plan of what I'm trying to achieve. So within the organization, it could be in the form of a business plan, it could be a marketing plan, it could be a go-to-market plan, it could be a product plan, whatever it is, but we need to have a very solid plan that helps, that shows the different steps, the milestones along the way to achieve what we want. And with today's world of technology, we don't necessarily always have to start from scratch. There's so much information out there that you can leverage to give yourself a head start. So for example, you're trying to create a business plan. You don't have to start from scratch and figure out what needs to be in a business plan. Yeah. You can go online and search for business plan templates, business plan examples. Maybe your business plan is in the field of agriculture. You can look for business plans in agriculture. Things will come up, right? That you can then adapt to do what you want to do. Or marketing, you want a product marketing plan. You go online and search for that, right? So there are many tools that are available, or even how to create a plan, how to create a solid work plan, right? There are templates that are available online. We don't have to start from scratch. We need to really get into the habit of using these tools, because that's the world we live in today, right? These tools are available and they just really help you to get ahead, and we should be leveraging them. The other is failure to take this first step, and some of you already mentioned that. The fact that it's just important to take the first step. Sometimes, and that's where procrastination comes in. Sometimes it's either because we're daunted, it just seems like such a big task. I don't know where to start from, Or maybe the vision, maybe I'm not as inspired by what I say I want to do. Or maybe I see all the challenges, right? Whatever it is, but failure to take the first step. Because if you want to go from A to Z, you can only start from where you are and take the next step. So A to B, B to J, J to M, whatever that is. But you have to take the first step. So that's another thing. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut where we're either procrastinating forever or repeating the same stories or the same excuses, etc. It's very important to take that first step. And when you have a solid plan, the first step becomes very clear. Okay, maybe that first step is I need to enroll for a training program. Maybe that first step is I need to brush up my computing skills. Whatever that is. Failure to recognize signals. So we talked about the fact that you can change your direction. It's very important to be very perceptive to the environment and even to your customers. So for example, if you think about the story I shared about WhatsApp, right? They were paying attention to the signals. They saw, the initial idea from the founders was not the messaging app we have today. But they saw how people were using the app after Apple released push notifications, right? And that gave them an idea that actually this can be quite interesting and this can be value addition. And that's how they evolved the app. So it's very important to understand the market. That's why we do market research. We talk about, knowing your customer and all of that, to just be able to keep a pulse on how the environment is moving, how customer needs are changing, how people are interacting with your product or service, what's working. Maybe you thought they'll use it for this purpose, but you find out actually they're using it for something else. Those types of signals are very important. Time management is an important one, and I'll come back to that. And of course, fear of failure. There's this interesting Chinese proverb, which is, if you would know the road ahead, ask someone who has traveled it. The fact that there's nothing really new under the sun, right? There's a lot of knowledge out there, either in people that you know or online, right? There's a huge knowledge base, and so we don't necessarily have to start from scratch. You can unpack a lot of anything that is a mystery. You can unpack a lot of that by accessing information that already exists. And then we talked about the recognizing your signals, which is really not just knowing your customer, knowing the environment, right? Even signals within your organization, because sometimes your employees are telling you, but you're not listening. Or the signs are there all around you and you're not picking up on them. So it's also very important to have that flexibility, that fluidity, to be able to recognize what the pulse is and what changes we need to make.